Hi yogis, welcome back to my channel. I am Michelle and welcome to our community of Zen Within Yoga. So glad that you were able to take this time for yourself and to roll out your mat or just get down on your carpet wherever you're at and just allow yourself to have some time and do a very gentle yoga practice for your whole body, mind, and spirit. Today our practice is going to be literally from toe to head. So instead of head to toe, we're going to start down with our feet, down with our toes, and then just work our way on up and really give an attention to all parts of our body so that there isn't any neglected areas. And just a reminder to be mindful of any injuries, know your limitations, and modify where necessary, and just really listen and honor your body. For our props today, blocks if you have those, and a blanket. This will really be used more so if you're like on a hardwood floor, and as we'll be doing like cat-cow or doing something on the knees, and if the hardwood floor the knees are a little sensitive, that might be good to have some extra padding underneath the knees. All right, and let's just get started in an easy seated pose, just kind of getting ourselves grounded and ready to come into our practice. So let's bring the hands into a mudra. The left hand will come down and then just gently place the right hand on top, and then just let the thumbs kind of cross over each other. Just this nice little gentle bowl here. And taking a cleansing breath through the nose all the way down to your belly. Open mouth exhale. Let's do that once again. Full inhale through the nose all the way to the belly. Fill the belly up. Open mouth exhale. And then just allow yourself to be here. Be here now in your body, in this space that you're at, and in this time that you've set and carved out for yourself for your practice. Taking a moment to thank yourself right now for allowing this time for you. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being here and being in gratitude for this time. Let's take another cleansing breath. Open mouth exhale. And gently opening the eyes. Very good. We're going to start, so already coming on to our hands and knees. And you may want to, like I said, use the blanket underneath your knees just for a little support. So coming into your tabletop, then we're going to tuck the toes. And you're going to send those hips right back towards the heels. Now, if this is a little bit too much for you in the knees, you can also place a blanket or place some sort of a cushion between the thighs so you have a little bit of extra space. So what we're really focusing on is just getting into the toes and the arches of the feet, the soles of the feet. And then we're going to walk the hands out. So coming into a variation of child's pose here and lowering the head down. Another modification that you could do here is maybe placing one of the blocks underneath your forehead. Just kind of lifting the upper body up a little bit. And then let the arms be soft so that the shoulders are able to relax. And taking a full breath here, inhale through the nose, send the breath to the belly, to the low back, to the hips. Taking an open mouth exhale, letting everything go. And if at any time this gets a little intense for the feet or the toes, you can always come out of it, take a few
moments to let the feet relax and then maybe come back into it, or maybe just come into child's pose for a few breaths and then come back in. So our feet are often a neglected area of the body, but they take on the most work throughout our entire day, carrying our body, and holding all of our energy and the weight of our body. So you may really be feeling this in your feet. I just encourage you to slow the breath down. As we slow our breath down, it also calms the nervous system. So in a pose like this, if the pose is a little tense on the area of the body that we're focusing on, the body wants to often resist or kind of go into fight or flight. So when we slow the breath down, we calm everything down. And let's just take 3 more slow breaths here. And last breath, let's take a cleansing inhale and exhale. Open mouth. Very good. Glide the hands back down towards you. We'll come back into our tabletop, untuck the toes, and then just tap the tops of the feet. Good. From here, we're going to grab one of our blocks and come to sit on it in a hero pose. So you're going to just place that block more so between like the ankles and the feet, and then come to sit back on it. And we're going to do a little reverse foot attention pose. So coming into the tops of our feet. So you'll bring your hands back behind you and then lifting up the knees as much as you can and kind of leaning back. Bend the elbows and just getting into the tops of the feet. Again, if this is too intense, maybe you just hold here for 1 breath and then come back down and just lifting the knees up as much as you can. And then being careful not to dump too much back, kind of opening up the chest as well, lifting the heart, yogi's heart. And let's just take 2 more breaths here. I know this is pretty intense. Good. Let's take a cleansing breath. And lowering those knees back down nice and easy, coming back up. We'll make our way back into our tabletop. And once again, tapping the feet. Good. And then we'll take that block out from in between the feet. And now coming into a little bit of calf stretch. Let's extend that left leg, toes tucked, and then as though you're pressing that heel to the floor. So you're really wanting to reach through the heel. Arms are nice and strong. You want to pull that low belly in to support the lower back. So upper body is nice and strong here. And now let's take an inhale. You're going to rock forward, coming onto the tippy toes of that left foot. And then exhale, press it back again. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale to come forward. Exhale to press it back. Good. Inhale, coming forward. Exhale to press it back. Nice. And then let's bring that left knee down. If the wrists are a little sensitive this morning, let's just do a little wrist circles here. And then going to the other hand. Good. And then we'll make our way to that right leg. So extending that right leg, toes tucked, pressing through the heel. You also may be feeling this through the Achilles and the arches of the feet. Good. And then let's take 3 rocks. So inhale, rocking forward. Exhale to press it back. Inhale forward. Exhale it back. Inhale forward. And exhaling it back. Very good. And we're bringing that right knee down. From here, we're going to make our way down onto our belly. So you can come down forearms first, and then slowly kind of walk the legs out. And I'm just going to move my blocks here so I'm not blocking anything. Good. And let's just lower our head down, take a little break for the low back. So you can just stack your hands on top of one another, rest the forehead down, letting the legs totally relax. Let's just take 3 breaths here. And last breath. Okay, then lifting the head back up, we're going to make our way into a quad stretch. So keep your right arm right in front of you, so the forearm is down. With your left hand, you're going to reach back for that left foot. Kind of making any adjustments that you need here too. And then you really want to make sure that the knee's not out too far. We want the knee aligned with the hip as much as possible. And then you're just going to lower the head back down to rest on your head, or excuse me, on your hand. And then let that left shoulder melt forward. So instead of keeping the arm nice and active, we want to kind of make this a little bit more gentle. So we're going to let that left shoulder just melt towards the earth. And if this is a little too strenuous for you, reaching back, maybe you grab a scarf or a belt or something to support holding the foot. Good. Now to support the low back and get into the pose a little bit more intense, you're going to tuck that tailbone towards the bottom end of your mat or towards your right foot. And you'll right away get a little deeper into that left quad. Feeling the pelvic floor pressing into the earth. Slowing the breath down. Let's take 3 more breaths here. Taking a cleansing breath. I always like to end each pose with a cleansing breath, as it gives us the opportunity on that exhale, open mouth exhale, to release anything that's been stuck or stagnant in the body. So as we're working on opening it up through our pose, then we want to allow anything that's been held there to release. So taking a full breath, and then imagine you can send the breath right into that left quad. And then a big open mouth exhale, letting anything go. Nice. Then we want to slowly release that foot so it doesn't ricochet back, and then slowly lowering the leg all the way down. Let's come to stack the hands once again, just to release the low back. And it might even feel good to kind of just shift your hips side to side. Good. Then we'll make our way onto the right leg. So left arm's down, reaching back with that right hand. Letting that right shoulder melt towards the earth. And then giving that gentle tuck of the tailbone. It's always a big game changer for me. As soon as I tuck that tailbone, it's like, oh, there's the stretch. Let's take 3 more slow breaths here. Last breath, cleansing, inhale and exhale. And slowly releasing that right foot. We'll stack the hands on top of one another once again, resting the forehead and gently shifting the hips. Good. And from here, we'll come into a little hip opener, half frog. So you'll extend the arms out like a T, and then bring that left leg up to the side. Now you want to make sure that the knees aligned with the hip, and then that the ankle is aligned with the knee. So you don't want the knee too high up or too far back. And then bring your right cheek to the floor. And this is just a very subtle hip opening pose. So you might not feel too much, but there is definitely some work happening. And then just notice if the glutes are clenching or if you're tucking the tailbone here. Here we want to let the tailbone be in a neutral place, letting the pelvic floor being more focused on sinking down. Let's just take 3 more breaths here. And with these breaths, really focus on breathing all the way down to the belly. And as you do, feel your belly press into the earth, press into the floor. And as you exhale, let the low back release even more, the hips, the hip girdle. And then taking a cleansing breath. Good. Then very carefully bringing that left leg back in. You can stack the hands once again, resting the head and just shifting the hips. I always like to do this just to give the low back a moment to reset. Good. And then we'll make our way to the other side. Just want to make sure I'm not going to be pressing down on my mic. I've done this pose before. My mic is shut off. So I'm not going to extend both arms. I'm going to keep my left arm in just to rest my head. So I'm not putting all my weight on my mic, just so you know. Okay. And then you'll bring that right leg out to the side. Good. And aligning the ankle and the knee. Taking a full breath to the belly. Exhale, letting everything soften and melt down. And 3 more breaths here. Last breath. Bringing that right leg back in, stacking the hands once again, forehead down, and gentle shift side to side. Let's just take a cleansing breath here. So just be still and take a full cleansing breath. Good. Let's bring the hands underneath the shoulders and we're going to press ourselves back up and then make our way into child's pose. So you may want to use the blanket here underneath the knees. Toes touch wide in the knees as much as comfortable. And then walking the hands out. Forehead to the mat, letting the heart melt to the earth. Taking a cleansing breath. Let's take one more breath here. And now we're going to walk ourselves over to the left. A little side body stretch. Lowering the head back down, and then you can stack that right hand on top of the left. And let that right arm come all the way down to the floor, to the mat. And taking 3 breaths here, really focus on breathing into that right side body, filling up the rib cage. Last breath here. And then we'll slowly walk ourselves back to center and then over to the right side. And then stacking that left hand on top of the right. And 3 breaths here. Cleansing breath. And walking yourself back to center. And then walk the hands all the way in towards you. And bring the thighs and the knees in towards one another. Let's just come to sit on our heels for a few breaths here. Let's bring the hands into prayer at heart center. Gently tuck the tailbone, pull the belly in, lengthening up nice and tall through the crown of the head. Taking a full cleansing breath. Open mouth, exhale. Taking just 2 more breaths here. Very good. Lowering the hands down and just shifting over to one hip. Swing the legs around. I'm just going to turn myself back around towards you. We'll come into an easy seated pose. So either crisscross applesauce or just having the legs in front of one another. And making our way now down into the hips, into our waist. So we'll do some Sufi Rolls. Just resting the hands on the knees. You'll take an inhale, rocking yourself forward. And then exhaling as you come back, and then pull that belly in as though somebody kind of just punched you in the stomach. You arch through the spine. And then inhale, rocking forward, reach the heart forward, draw those shoulder blades back. Nice. And exhale, bringing it back in. And finding your flow here. This is always, I find, a very delicious movement. This is another part of the body that, we don't often give attention to in our exercising or our yoga. So you kind of really feel this through the hips, the low back. It just always feels really good. It's kind of just also opening up our creative center or sacral chakra, if you're familiar with your chakras. And then the next time you come forward, just reversing, so going the opposite way. Taking one more full round. And then we'll meet back in center. And from here, do a seated cat and cow. So take that inhale, rock forward. And then as you exhale, press it back. I'm just going to turn sideways here so you can see. So inhale, rocking forward. Send that tailbone out. And then as you exhale, come in, curl the tailbone in, pull the belly in, chin to chest. Good. Inhale, rocking forward. Exhale to press it back. And just taking a nice, easy flow here. Filling into your body. Noticing how the body's responding to this movement, to this flow. Let's just take 2 more. And coming back into our neutral position, I'll turn myself back around. And let's just switch the crossing of our legs. So whichever foot was in closest to you, just bringing that out in front, just to give the feet and legs a little break. And now making our way all the way up into our shoulders, we'll come into half archer. So bringing that right hand back behind you. And then you're going to bring that left hand to that right elbow. And just gently pulling that elbow back. So you get this stretch through the tricep. And then you also want to focus on sending that right shoulder down. So notice if the shoulder is kind of up by your ear. You want to gently let that shoulder come down, shoulder blade coming down towards the ribs. Good. We'll just take 5 slow breaths here. Last breath. And releasing the arms, and we'll bring that right arm all the way across the chest, and then using that left hand or the forearm to support, reaching that right arm all the way across. And then the same thing with the shoulder. Notice if the shoulder's coming up by the ear, we want to gently drop that shoulder down. And then as though you're trying to open up through the back of the shoulder, so you're lengthening through that right arm. And continuing to plug that right shoulder down. Good, taking 2 more breaths here. Last breath. And releasing the arms, maybe do a few shoulder rolls. And then we'll make our way to the other side. So bringing that left hand up and over, right hand to that left elbow. And taking 5 slow, deep breaths here. Last breath. Releasing the arms, we'll bring that left arm all the way across. And taking that reach. So you really want to focus too, not on moving the upper body with the arms. So holding the upper body and letting that traction just come through the shoulder. And 2 more breaths here. Last breath. Very nice. Releasing the arms, a few shoulder rolls once again. Good. And bringing a little love to the wrists. Let's bring the forearms together, interlacing the fingers, crossing the thumbs on top of one another, and just making these little circular motions here with the hands. So a little love into the wrist. Might be feeling this in the forearms as well. And then reversing, going the other way. Maybe you have a little cracking, popping going on. That's okay as long as there's not any pain. Good. And then we'll release. Let's just shake the hands out. That always feels good as well. Perfect. Moving our way all the way up to the neck. If you need to take a moment to let the legs relax, you can extend the legs out, give them a little shake, and then come back into your easy seated pose. Let's just take an inhale, lengthen up nice and tall. Exhale, drop that right ear towards the left shoulder. Right ear to the right shoulder. Feeling this in the left side of your neck. And now extending that left hand out by the left hip. And as though you're trying to reach for something through your tippy fingers. That makes sense, tippy fingers, the tips of your fingers. And now we'll bring that right hand up across the head over by the left ear. And instead of focusing on pushing the head down, we want to focus on lengthening. So as though you're trying to send your head to the diagonal part of your room, if that makes sense. Just feeling this length through the neck from the ear to the shoulder. Taking 2 more breaths here. Last breath. Beautiful. Bring that left hand back to the thigh. Keep the head here. We want to support to bring the head back up. So you're going to bring that right palm to the right cheek and then lift the head all the way back to center. Nice. Release the right hand down. Just take a breath here. Notice the right side from the left. Beautiful. Making our way to the other side now. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, left ear, left shoulder. Let the shoulders soften down. Now extending that right arm, right hand out to the side. And then we'll bring our left hand all the way up and over, creating that same lengthening through the neck. Good. One more breath here. And bringing that right hand in. Keep the head here. Bring that left palm to the left cheek. Lifting the head back to center. Releasing the hand down. Ooh, feeling that. Letting all of that tension melt away. Take a big cleansing breath. Very good. Opening the eyes. Let's extend the legs all the way out. And I'm going to turn sideways here. Good. And then just coming into a little hamstring stretch. So I always like to move the flesh out from the cheek so that the sit bones can really root down. You can use your blocks here if you'd like for a little support as we come into a fold. And let's just flex the feet, lengthen through the legs, and then release the flex. Let the muscles of the legs be nice and relaxed. Take an inhale, lengthen up nice and tall. And then exhale, just gliding your hands down your legs or maybe down your mat and making your way into your fold here. So in our yin practice, we typically like to have a nice rounded spine. But if you're having any low back sensitivity today or any issues, you want to keep the back at a nice flat position. So you would just reach yourself forward, let the head be heavy if that feels okay in your neck. And then you can stack your blocks on top of one another if need be to allow the head to rest on your block, or if you choose not to have a block, that's always an option as well. Taking a nice cleansing breath here. Inhale through the nose to the belly to the low back. Open mouth, exhale. You may be feeling this down your spine or through the area of your back, upper back, mid back, low back, as well as in the hamstrings. And if you have any area that is really tight right now, I just encourage you to breathe into that area. And imagine with each breath that you're expanding the fascia, the muscles, the ligaments, breathing through all of those layers. And on the exhale, letting them all soften. It's very common here for the knees and the quads to want to engage and lock. So giving them permission to unlock, deactivate, and be at ease. Taking 3 more breaths here. Last breath. And let's bring the hands to the thighs. Pressing the hands into the thighs as you slowly bring the upper body back up, nice and slow. Good. Let the arms relax, let the shoulders relax, and just taking a few breaths here. Feeling what's happening in the body through the spine, through the back. And last breath here. Good. Opening the eyes. From here, we'll make our way into butterfly pose. I'm just going to turn myself back around. So soles of the feet touch. And you can either have the heels in really close if you want more of an inner thigh, inner groin stretch. If you want to focus more on the outer hips, then you can just send the feet out a little further. So yogi's choice on your butterfly pose. Before we come into a fold, let's make our way into a twist. So inhale, lengthen up nice and tall. And then as you exhale, twist over to the right, bringing that left hand to that right knee, right hand back behind you. We'll just take a few breaths here. Really focus on lengthening up nice and tall. Take a big inhale. And as you exhale, gently pull the belly in. See if you can twist from the waist a little deeper to the right. And then drawing that right shoulder back to open up across the collarbones. Maybe you look over the right shoulder if that feels okay in your neck. Good. Taking one more breath here. And then slowly untwisting. We'll make our way to the other side. Inhale to lengthen. And then exhale, twisting to the left. Really find where you can root down through your sit bones and lengthen through the spine. And then find that beautiful opening across the chest as you gently bring that left shoulder back. Good. Taking one more full breath here. And then slowly coming forward. And now we'll make our way into our butterfly fold. Inhale to lengthen. And then exhale, folding forward. Same thing here in your fold. Any lower back issues, keeping the back nice and flat. Otherwise, you can come into a nice rounded spine. Here you have the option again for your blocks. Whatever feels best for you. Maybe choosing no blocks. I like to bring my forearms down to the floor and open up the palms facing up. And let the head be really heavy, dropping the chin in towards the chest. Releasing any tension in the jaw. Let's even bring a little attention to our jaw. So just gently opening the mouth and kind of shifting the jaw side to side. Opening and closing the mouth. And then allow yourself to just be still here. Letting the upper body be supported by gravity as it comes into its fold a little deeper. All organically, never pushing or forcing. Taking a few more breaths here. Cleansing inhale and exhale. And bringing the hands to the feet, and pressing the hands into your feet to support, bringing the upper body back up, nice and slow, head coming up last. Taking a cleansing breath here at the top. Good, opening the eyes, let's support the knees, bring the knees in, send the legs out, give them a nice little shake. Good. And from here, we'll make our way down onto our backs. And lowering yourself down nice and easy. And right away, bring the knees into the chest. And gently rocking side to side. Okay, let's extend the legs all the way up, feet towards the ceiling or the sky. And then just pointing and flexing through the feet. Rotate through the ankles. Our final focus, our ankles, giving them some love. Very good. Bend the knees, bring the knees back into the chest. Give yourself a really big hug. Squeeze it in. Take a big breath to the belly. Fill the belly up. Open mouth, exhale. Feel the low back sink into the earth. Good. Taking a full inhale into the lungs, the chest. Open mouth, exhale, letting the upper back, shoulders, neck, and head all sink down. Releasing the arms. Lowering the feet down to your mat or to the floor. And then extending the legs all the way out, coming into our final pose, Shavasana. Taking up lots of space. Let those shoulders melt back. Taking a cleansing breath. Open mouth, exhale. Letting the body surrender. Letting the mind surrender. Feeling your body. And taking a scan of your body all the way, starting at the toes. And working your way all the way up the feet, the ankles. Knees, your quads, the hamstrings, your hips, the belly, back. Your chest, upper back and shoulders, your neck, your head, the fingers, the hands, the wrists, your arms. And feeling all of this energy that you created that's flowing through your body from your practice. And letting that energy just integrate into all parts of your body, the cells, and letting this energy turn into this radiant light. And feeling yourself become so sparkly, so shiny. And bringing a gentle smile to your face and to your heart. And letting yourself be lit up even more. And now let's take a cleansing breath, inhaling some of this radiant light. And on an open mouth exhale, sharing some of this radiant light out into the world, to the universe, into your space. And feeling so good, so bright, so light. Slowly begin to wiggle the fingers and the toes, gently rocking your head side to side. And extending the arms up overhead, bringing the feet back in towards one another. Legs are still extended, just taking this nice lengthening stretch. Big inhale, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. And then as you exhale, bring the arms into the body, feet back to your mat. Bring the knees into the chest and gently rocking side to side. And then making your way over to the right side in fetal pose, taking a breath here. And then slowly pressing yourself up. Coming back into an easy seated pose or crisscross applesauce. And let's bring the hands to the heart, just gently stacking one hand over the other. Taking a cleansing breath. And really just feeling this energy feeling your vibe, this bright vibe that you have going on right now. And you created that by taking this time out for yourself, by showing up for yourself, by breathing, by stretching, opening, releasing, surrendering. Just taking a moment to thank yourself. Thank yourself for showing up. Thank you for doing the work. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for practicing with me today. Taking another cleansing breath. Bringing the hands into prayer, gently bowing the head. May you have and continue to have peace in your mind, peace in your heart, peace in your body, and peace in your life. Namaste. Thank you, yogis, for practicing with me today. I hope you really feel your vibe lit up and that you take this energy into the rest of your day, the rest of your afternoon, or into your evening. Namaste.